Cosplay costumes are some of the most colorful and creative outfits you'll ever see out there. These days, cosplay is considered an art form and a way to add excitement to your regular wardrobe. The hard work and love that these cosplayers put into their outfits sometimes beats the original pieces from the movies. Maybe your eyes are already demanding some detail. Here are the costumes that take cosplay to the next level. If you're a fan of scary costumes, you might opt for this Halloween costume. A terrifying four-legged stilt spirit. A woman named Melissa Irwin designed the costume in 2014. It first featured in a video on Facebook garnering over 44 million views and 625,000 shares. In the video, Irwin dons her stilt spirit costume and walks around her neighborhood in broad daylight and at night. Of course, some kids run away, wouldn't you? Others take photos. One of the bravest souls even gingerly pets the creature's leg. Irwin, who later shared this DIY Halloween costume on YouTube, also has an Etsy page. There you can download a tutorial on how to make the stilt spirit. While the tutorial will only set you back $10, the materials are anything but cheap. For starters, you'll need drywall stilts, medical crutches, and peg stilts. That alone will cost you upwards of $200. All that dough to scare folks? Let's shop for something simple and nice. Cosplayers are sort of wizards. Who else would dress up like Gandalf the White or Dumbledore? And look, the creative skills that produce the detailed, life-size cosplay can only come from a wizard. I mean sewing, sculpting, sometimes even electronics whiz. Here at Nintendo Life, they're lucky if they can put together an outfit in the morning to cosplay the role of a functioning human. But that doesn't mean they can't appreciate the artistry of others. Dan Cattell is an artist with a passion for making 2D sprites into 3D wearable cosplays. He cuts out each individual part and slaps them onto cardboard shapes strapped to his arms and legs. Recently, his cosplays have been blowing up views and followers on TikTok. It takes buckets of guts and skill to turn the simple sprites into chunky animations from Nintendo. But Dan manages to pull it off with a smile by studying and recreating their movement. He first got into 2D amazing cosplay when he was in college, because he didn't have much money to invest in 3Ds. It's a pretty pricey hobby to have, but who's counting? Not this guy. He seems to have 6 heads and 32 teeth times 1, 2, 3, forget it. Stranger Things is one hell of a scary series on Netflix. With the number of fans it has, it's equally frightening how many creeps are out there. Are you one of them? One man decided to show his gross love for the film in a nice way, by creating a replica costume of Demogorgon's character. Carl Leck's bucket of creativity is clearly overflowing. The face is like a flower full of teeth. It took him 35 hours to come up with the monstrous piece, using cardboard, Gorilla Tape, bite cables, and rubber bands. The Violet cosplay is one mind-blowing design which made it one of the best costumes at the exhibition. But you don't want to meet this guy in the dark. You'd probably wake the dead screaming or swallow your tongue and drop yourself dead. The creepy costume designer is also a scary actor of sorts. Avram Carmeli from Tel Aviv, in Israel, designs pop culture-themed skateboards. His latest creation features a magic carpet-themed board from Aladdin. Well, if you are wondering, Aladdin is a 1992 American animated film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation. The magic carpet is a supporting character in Aladdin. He is a sentimental Persian carpet whom Aladdin befriends while traversing the Cave of Wonders. The skateboards were created by Evolve Skateboards, but the costumes came together through the combined efforts of Carmeli and his friends. Aishay Lekowitz works on the board side of the projects, and his other friend, Hani Ravid, helps with the costumes. According to Carmeli, the boards were made to initially celebrate the Jewish holiday called Purim, where people dress up funky. He also mentioned that the cool skates get him some unwanted attention, too. The least wanted reaction he has received so far was when a London police officer pulled him over while he was riding around on a picturesque skates. Thomas DiPetrillo is a self-taught master craftsman and costume designer. He started making Halloween costumes as a child and fed his passion with practice as he grew older. Whether it's a 10-foot-tall Donkey Kong or a pair of giant Rock'em Sock'em Robot, complete with popping head, Thomas will strive to push the boundaries of what's possible. After winning all the local amateur Halloween costume contests, he started traveling to bigger venues such as New York, Boston, Fort Lauderdale, Chicago, and the fabulous Las Vegas. Wherever there was a contest, Tom brought his A game, and more often than not took home the prize money. De Petrillo spent nearly 2 years building this suit. The Iron Man costume is a 6 foot 6 inch wide, 44 inch thick, and 95 pounds heavy. It takes 20 minutes to wear it. It's like wearing something big, cold, hard, someone. The eyes on the suit glow white and the armor is dotted with red lights. De Petrillo has been making extreme costumes for 19 years. Mentions the Iron Man costume as the single largest, most domineering thing he's ever created. You can bet he's not done. One of the best looks that had everyone talking throughout the 4-day event in New York's Comic-Con was a larger-than-life cosplay of a video game character from Overwatch. Cosplay designer Thomas De Petrillo revealed that the over 9-foot-tall Reinhardt took about 5 weeks to build with a team of 3 people. Reinhardt is one of the heroes of the popular multiplayer first-person shooter from Blizzard. The cosplay was completed on the first day of New York Comic-Con. De Petrillo is no stranger to cosplay. He sold his car wash business so he could live out his passion for creating these costumes with a small team in Rhode Island. He estimates the Reinhardt costume weighs 85 pounds and takes about 10 to 12 minutes to put on or take off. His creations are also meticulously detailed. For instance, a rocket pack on the back of Reinhardt lights up and pivots. The wrists on each hand rotate and the fingers are all individually controllable. Inside the costume, De Petrillo becomes a virtual celebrity. As he walked around Comic-Con, thousands of fans would stop him for endless selfies. So much love for such a creepy guy. The best part about wearing Spider-Man cosplays is the love shown for the character. Secondly, the fact that there are plenty of renditions and versions of Spider-Man costumes allows the fans a chance to personalize their outfits to detail. Perhaps that's why there's so many amazing Spider-Man gowns out there. This cosplay is absolutely amazing. Not only does it perfectly capture the newest version of Peter Parker's jumpsuit, but it shows us a breathtaking moment as well. Even I am finding it hard to resist jumping into this piece. Richard Hamilton clearly has strong attention to detail and an even better sense of how to pose for a photo. Isn't he dashing? Forget Peter Parker and all his problems. Richard Hamilton is on top of things. He sells the jumpsuit on Twitter, calling it neat stuff, has an amazing girlfriend. Oh, and occasionally saves the world single-handedly. In 2017, San Diego Comic-Con, Overwatch's newest character, Doomfist, made his debut appearance. Well, not the real Doomfist, of course, but a very talented model dressed head to fist to toe in some incredibly crafted cosplay. Jordan Duncan from Henchman Studios, the company responsible for making Blizzard's official real-life Doomfist, took a break from the beehive of the Comic-Con show studio to speak with Mick and break down how it came together. They have to replicate everything in 3D modeling software and work from the in-game models and other reference drawings. From there, it's just figuring out how to break it down into separate pieces and mount all those together. Once they have that system down, they start 3D printing it piece by piece. According to Duncan, the gauntlet alone weighs over 15 pounds and consists of over 60 separate components. Now, let's look at toys that were made for, well, kids. Mark Petritska and Cheryl Beltram make Transformer Kids. These are costumes that can transform kids into, well, Transformers. The costumes are made from 2 cardboard boxes held together with shoulder straps. The story started when Mark went to Walmart for a last-minute Halloween costume shopping. The costume department was torn apart. There was nothing there, and he ended up with Thomas the Tank Engine, which consisted of a hat and an apron. He felt so guilty, and he promised himself to make it up to the kid. Mark went on the internet, looked at a few different examples, and decided to give it a try. He started each costume with a hard copy. The kids try them on to make sure they fit correctly, then he adds the shoulder straps. On the inside is some polypropylene strapping so it just hangs nicely on the shoulders. This kid's costume is one of the best Halloween costumes. With immense love and a lot of dedication, the kids' team made it to this extraordinary level of enjoyment. This seems worthwhile to make, isn't it? It's also wonderful to see these kids liking their favorite Transformer character. Esther Lipfago, a cosplayer with more kids' costume ideas. You can follow her on Instagram at Esther Lipfago. Breaking news. You can finally have your revenge on pigeons. We now have wings for humans that might finally turn the tables and crap on birds as they eat their snacks in the park. This brave cosplayer ought to be knighted. Unfortunately, her pneumatically activated wings don't allow you to fly, but they look great and spread out gracefully as if you were an eagle or an angel or a pigeon. The wings were made by Alexis Noriega, who lives in Tucson Estates, Arizona, and runs the Crooked Feather Etsy store. Noriega wrote on her store page that she decided to start working with feathers and wings for fun, and discovered she loves the material and the possibilities of flying. And crapping on birds? Maybe. She also mentioned that working with feathers is not easy and takes a great deal of patience, but the results are always something to be proud of. She plans on releasing a tutorial video too. So yes, the woman who makes mechanical cosplay wings will show you how to possibly fly and release some pent-up rage by taking a dump on birds. Dutch cosplayer Wayne Berendhuizen got into cosplay and made his own costumes while suffering from a deep depression. His therapist at the time suggested a creative outlet. Well, the outlet has thrived and also helped Berendhuizen battle his depression. He started off slowly making some masks. The first was an Iron Man mask that won Berendhuizen first place in a costume competition. The piece was really well done and a precursor to where Wayne Berendhuizen is today with the ultimate fan-made Iron Man costume. In total, the suit took Wayne Berendhuizen 6 months to create. He used a 3D printer to make gloves that shoot smoke as well as light beams. The rest of the costume is made from foam and resin, resulting in a real-life Iron Man look. Hidden all over the suit are little switches that trigger different features, including rocket thrusters lighting up and shooting smoke, as well as masks that open up and lights up. Don't you just love watching real men in hero outfits shooting fire and stuff? Things can only get better. Makes you want to do something, huh? Guess what? If you like this video and subscribe to my channel, I'll let you know who else is doing something cool. This cosplayer brings Iron Man to life. Dan Lexi spent more than 330 hours building the suit. He designed and printed 3D models and mixed the pieces with foam parts. Custom electronics light up the eyes, hands, and chest. Nearly 900 individual pieces are connected throughout the suit. It took Dan just under a year to plan and finish. He wanted to have his signature mark on it and chose the rare bone suit to stand out more. It earned him second place at New York Comic Con's 2017 FX competition. He hit the seams following the PEP file. Any seam where the PEP file broke up in the movie is pretty much where he made the costume break up. But underneath the arms is where he put the seams to actually make it wearable. The underarms have Velcro. The arm piece slips on over the shoulders like a set of shoulder pads, and the Velcro attaches on either side of the head boom. Too tactical and too manly if you ask me. A devoted father has transformed his 3-year-old daughter into Wonder Woman with an out-of-this-world photo shoot and costume. Comic book fan and commercial photographer Josh Rossi, age 31, celebrated Nellie's 3rd birthday by transforming her into the DC Comics heroine. During the 6-hour photo shoot, his Wonder Girl wore a handmade Wonder Woman costume and had her makeup done professionally. Done in Josh's hometown of Salt Lake City, the shoot involved 5 assistants, including Josh's wife Roxana. The group hoisted Nellie above their heads, blew wind in her hair, and heaped her with props to achieve the special shots. Now, a father of 2, Josh spends weeks editing his studio shots by layering them over his own incredible backdrops to give the illusion that this wonderful girl is fighting in a battle. Nellie was thrilled. She started acting out, making the cute faces and poses and everything. Her father explained that she is definitely obsessed with Wonder Woman. Nellie's toddler brother, Josh Jr., was perfect for the role. He's a little daredevil that doesn't sleep, but the pint-sized Dark Warrior literally needed some extra support to keep him upright while Wasi aimed his lens. At the time, little Josh had barely learned to walk. It's pretty insane working with kids, but you somehow make it work. Photoshop is also Big Josh's hobby. For 2 weeks after the family photo shoot, Rossi worked diligently to digitally alter the raw footage and turn his family into the perfect homage to Episode 8. The Salt Lake City father and commercial photographer sat down with StarWars.com to offer an exclusive first look at his finished Last Jedi photos. He also talked about building X-Wing fighters in his parents' garage, learning how to illustrate the visions in his mind, and casting his daughter and other brave children in the most heroic light. Since she was 15, Blair Onderla loved video game characters. She has won numerous awards for her artisanship and execution all over the United States. Blair has turned her passion for cosplay and creature design into a business. This product is an amazing eclectic line of footwear called Creature Feet. Her fashion line consists of detailed shoes and boots that are crafted in the shape of animal hooves for true costume realism. This fantasy-inspired footwear allows people to easily transform into their favorite fantasy characters for the best cosplay. The hooves are made from strong resin that is permanently fixed onto the heels of a pair of 4-inch shoes. They should be suitable for women's shoe sizes up to 15. But girls are not the only ones who can rock some hooves. These kicks are good for guys who are not afraid of height and are ready to hit the upcoming Comic-Con cosplay, or just scare the kids in the neighborhood. The small, colorful bricks that spark any child's imagination with a multitude of building possibilities have spawned 2 movies and tens of Legoland theme parks. Yes, tens, maybe hundreds. Look what this man has made from Legos. Brack Lee is a graphic artist from Denver. Lego costumes weren't always in his plans. It started when his son wanted a minifigure Halloween costume. He created a zombie Lego minifigure that included its very own scary tearaway face. Here's how he makes it. The base is made from a foam camping mat. He uses common tools like a small knife and a hot glue gun to piece it together. You can request custom costumes on Etsy or use his tutorials. Most people who have seen the Lego costumes or the standing figures have been really excited and say they're just like the toys their kids play with or the characters that they see in the movies. They're just as accurate and people can interact with them. But not all cosplay costumes are cute, little adorable stuff. Ever wanted to dress up like a Disney princess? Well, one fashion designer is selling his bespoke creations and they're a literal dream come true for many. Crafting stunning ball gowns from scratch inspired by Disney classics, Nephi Garcia is the king of the corset, puffed skirts, crystals, and beads. The dresses are on another league from the usual fancy costume dresses. Some fans have claimed they're even better than the Disney ensembles they've seen in the movies. Before you can contact Nephi for your own custom gown, it's worth noting that quality like this won't be cheap. He has a couple of pre-made Disney outfits retailing on his site for $79.99. If you want him to customize your design, you'll get a customized quote too. So if you're looking for something special for next Halloween, we can't think of any gown that will top these. On his website, Nephi tells how he realized his dreams of becoming a designer when his family were on their last leg and struggling to make ends meet. Talking of struggle and triumph. Evangeline Lilly's wasp costume required a 4-month period of research and development before filmmakers arrived at a satisfactory result. According to Frogly, they tested 30 different shapes, which was incredibly time-consuming. But the costume had to look absolutely perfect, like it just miraculously came like that. If they hadn't done all that testing, it would have looked cheap and terrible, and that's not so marvelous. There's nothing worse than a bad costume. That's a Marvel quote. The wasp's bodice was saturated with reflective silver tone background color and topped with 90 gold-tinged patented leather pieces cut in a honeycomb pattern on 2 different levels. The most difficult part is getting it flexible enough so that the actors can raise their arms. Ancient soldiers had already invented that 4 sword-proof jackets, so Marvel found that science incredibly helpful. The designer built in all of these secret slots so that the bits of the body of the costume could slide underneath each other like the scales of a lizard. This allowed Evangeline to raise her arms and do wonders. Molinsky taught herself special effects makeup and costumes by watching YouTube videos, drawings from her favorite sci-fi and fantasy films. Cosplay truly is a labor of love for her family. Amber's father, Randy Molinsky, is her handler. The handler assists the cosplayer with things like holding up their bags or offering a straw when they're thirsty so they don't smudge the intricately lined makeup. They are a father-daughter team, and Amber wouldn't have it any other way. Dad was the one who started daughter in the art. The painstaking process of transforming into the blue-skinned Nebula of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy showed at Comic-Con. To Molinsky, becoming Nebula was worth the extra effort. It all stems from a love of art and paying tribute to characters that have influenced you in one way or another. The part cyborg warrior was played by actress Karen Gillan in Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. For Mysterio, it isn't enough to defeat his enemies. He wants to also psychologically crush them. On multiple occasions, Mysterio convinces Spider-Man he is suffering from schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder, leading Spider-Man to seek the help of a psychiatrist. But how do you cosplay a character who wears a fishbowl on his head? Sam from Black Zero Cosplay knows the answer. First, Sam painted the details of the armor, figured out the colors, density, and thickness of the materials, and only then started working on the costume. The designer confessed that when he finally got all the materials he needed, he had only 2 weeks to the deadline, but he made it. By the way, the fishbowl on his head is made of an acrylic globe. For the lighting, he used LEDs connected to conventional batteries. We doubt that Sam could see anything through the glass and the smoke, but the effect is worth some suffering for. No one would blame you if you felt frightened and/or fled from this eyesore. That's the whole idea anyways. The suit, created by a Japanese guy, really did justice to the famous monster William Birkin from Resident Evil 2. The incredible costume even has the dreadful head sticking out next to his shoulder. How bizarre, huh? The costume's appearance and its effects are hideous. If you look carefully, the giant eye seems to be watching you. Resident Evil fans who want to get a similar outfit will need to be just as creative as this artist. Undoubtedly, the cosplay is at a cinematic level. Dr. Birkin's initial mutation kept much of the body unchanged, with the mutations only visible on the right side. The right arm, torso, and face mutated as a result of a shooting incident. In Resident Evil 2 Original and The Dark Side Chronicles, the mutation also made William's right side grotesquely increase in muscle mass, making his skin tear up and take on a sticky reddish hue. If you still want to flee, here's an idea. Marvel has been teasing us with the ultimate big bad in the last few years. When Avengers Infinity War hit theaters, Thanos surely became the name on every moviegoer's lips or tongue. As we get closer to the next Thanos' arrival in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there is sure to be many a cosplay dedicated to the Mad Titan. And there's one Thanos cosplay out there that has already lived up to the name. This guy walks around looking like a wooden robot in a metallic suit. The massive cosplay represents a living being, hundreds of times more powerful than the mortals who are brave enough to be around him. Prismatic cosplays definitely managed to capture the ominous presence of Thanos in their phenomenal piece. You can almost feel the power radiating from Thanos as he walks the halls, looking at the rabble down below. If the MCU's Thanos is half as impressive, then those tiny Avengers have their work cut out for them. Which of these costumes was your favorite? Have you seen something like this in real life? Let us know in the comments below. Like always, if you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a big thumbs up and leave us some love in the comment section. To keep up to date with all of our awesome videos, be sure to hit subscribe and turn your notifications on to never miss a thing. Until next time, do take care of yourself.